So
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
you will be still hosting these meetings, right? Even you're not
Yeah.
in the CMB. Okay. Good.
All right, so let's kick this off. Note takers, is that something you'd like to volunteer for, Juan, or?
Yeah, I can take some notes here.
Cool. All right, as far as status updates, I can go on my part and say that there really hasn't been a lot I've been focusing on the platform side of things. There is one thing that I'm looking for volunteers, and that is the build kit stuff, right? So the build kit kind of hit some implementation details in regards to the lifecycle changes. And so at this point, I don't really have the time to focus on it. So I'm looking around to see if anybody could take it on. And I'll just transfer whatever knowledge and branches and piece of work there. But that's, as far as I'm aware, that's still something like we'd like to continue.
Okay. And there are some issues pending to be solved, features to be added, something that it's already documented.
For build kit, it's more of a exploration right now. That's
Okay.
still to be seen. It's exploring what possible integration there can be between the life cycle and build kit itself, right? And I think, to be clear, this is what would enable you to be able to do Docker build, and it would just work, right? It would just use Cloud Native Buildpacks behind the scenes.
I think I would like to explore that.
Cool. Yeah. So maybe we can sync up at some point soon and just give you a little, overview and see if you're interested in that.
Yeah, that will be great.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, next item. Do you have any updates before we jump, I guess?
Not really. I believe the ticket, the issue I was doing for pack was already merged and should be ready. Yeah, the group ID, adding the group ID flag to the command line tool. Yes, that's all I did related to the platform stuff. So I believe that was already measured. It's ready to go. So I don't know when will be released. That one should be probably the next thing we should talk here with the release planning.
Yes, yeah, let's jump into that. So the last release was May 28th, right? Which means that we probably want to release mid-July if we're doing every 6 weeks. So let me see what looks appropriate there. I would say Wednesday the 14th would be a pretty decent date. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that as the due date for the milestone of 020.
Okay.
Oh wait, so the 19th, never mind. It would be the beginning of July, right? If we're doing 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When was the last one?
May 19th.
Okay. 1.
Yeah, so it looks like it would be around June 30th, July 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna set it for the 30th.
Okay.
It does seem like we have at least 5 issues closed. So whatever we can make in, we'll try to do that. All right, cool. We've got that. Anything else on release planning?
The no.
Awesome. All right, let's see, we've got, the next item is discussions needed. We do have one issue there, temporary files are not deleted after build. Let's see what we've got. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Comments from top need some of this around what layers are not getting cleaned up. Are these ephemeral? Okay, so we don't need a discussion on this anymore. Is there something for like research? Nope. I'm gonna move it over to ready. There you go. So we could start working on this one. It does require a little bit of research up front to determine what the next step would be, but I think it should be
Okay.
sufficient going.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Cool. All right, set for that. RFCs. Okay, both of these should be closed. All right. So this would be an action item for me. I could go ahead and close those RFCs today. Okay. So we're done with the RFCs. Next item is, I don't know how much we'd be able to do here, but there is a discussion going on about some of the permission changes based on a PR where we made the workspace configurable, meaning that you could point to a different location or place it in a different location, is my understanding. And one of Dan's changes was to include the root directory, the workspace directory in the tar file. And because of that, I believe is the reason why the permissions are also changing. I'm not entirely sure like that's accurate. So I did post a question out to Dan. So hopefully we could get some answers there. But on the other side, I know that David was planning to take a look at this. So hopefully we're coming with some findings. I think that's where we're at right now. I'm not entirely sure what other things we can do to move this along.
And I mean, was any issue created for this one? Or it's just the the open thread in Slack?
There was no issue created, just a Slack thread. What I did do is I commented on the PR itself. So there is that. But yeah, I do wonder if an issue would be the appropriate way to go about it.
Yeah, maybe we just need to wait for some confirmation from the other guys to to get some agreement that if it is an issue, then we can just create a ticket, the issue, and the backlog and work on it.
But I guess what I'll do is I'll set myself a reminder that if we don't hear anything by next week, to create an issue to better track it.
Okay.
Sound good? Right.
Slack.
right. And the last thing I added to the agenda was this discussion, which started today about basically Linux. I don't know how much insight or knowledge you have of Linux, but basically there's SE Linux, right, which is a kind of security feature within Linux where you can have very, or I guess more complex, robust policies. And one of the
Okay.
things is that the somewhat like typical default settings for SE Linux prevent pack from properly binding to the Docker socket, which it uses to kind of integrate with the Docker daemon, right? And do the
Okay.
build of the container.
Uh-huh.
So there is a route in which users could customize the policy or like set it properly, or like overall just disable SE Linux, which I think is probably like the worst option, right? And one of the possible, I think there's three options. Option one is disable SE Linux. Option two is create a policy to allow pack to get access to the Docker daemon. That's like a user burden. And then option three is make it so that pack itself kind of disables SE Linux for this particular container. And when we're saying this particular container, it would be the containers that need Docker daemon access, right? So we're thinking like the analyzer, the exporter, and what is the other one? And creator, right? So the fix itself seems very simple. And I feel comfortable, especially given that the Linux experts, right, in this thread also agree with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And then with the caveat that if there is somebody that's more security conscious or wants granular control, then we could discuss adding the flag to be able to toggle that feature on or off. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's more or less the context there. Again, I don't know if you have any opinions or thoughts on that.
No, not yet. I believe, yeah, it's not my best area of expertise, but yeah, okay. I think I see the problem.
Yeah. So I kind of left it open for that, hopefully them to create the PR, but
Yeah.
also called out David to see if he has any opinions there.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Cool. I think that pretty much finishes up the agenda. Do you have anything you'd like to discuss?
No, on the back side, not really. I think, yeah, not for now, honestly. I think it's okay to leave it like this.
Awesome. Well, with that said, if there's nothing else, then we could call it early and get back to actually getting some work done.
Yeah, sure. Nice to see you, man.
Same here. All right. See you.
Bye.